Taco here again. Welcome back to Resonant Rise. We have had a couple of updates on the mod pack. We are now on version 2.3.5a, and some of the last updates have been regarding Orgen, world gen and stuff. So the world does look a bit funky. If you watch my stream, I've got some videos of the stream that I'm going to put up after this video. But if you haven't seen it, you can catch up with that. There's a few things I've got to talk to you about, which we did in the stream. But first of all, I'm going to go down into the depths of my world and show you the kind of thing that's gone on. There's been quite a few changes to how much things are generated, and this part of playing a beta pack, it's to be expected, and I'm alright with it. But if you was on playing on your own, you may want to start again. I don't know. It depends how far on you are with stuff. But if we look down here, this is the kind of thing I mean. Artifice has been removed, and I guess a lot of artifice blocks was down at bedrock level. So we've got this big hollow down underneath the lava. The lava's actually stayed where it should do, which is kind of funky. But that's let us get right down here into the depths of the world, which is kind of crazy. Speaking of updates, by the way, this is a direct message to the makers of the mod pack. I've tried logging on to your forums, but it doesn't seem to send me an email. I've tried resetting my email a few times and stuff. Anyway, I should have maybe sent that as a private message, but I think I have to log in to send a private message. It gets all confusing. I've also joined the community on the Google Plus, which also took me ages because it kept. I've got two Google Plus logins. I've got my old one and then my YouTube one, and it never joins me anything with the right one. It blows my mind every time. Have I got anything to man that with me, on me? I have not, it's upstairs. Okay. I remember where that is. Could do some more of that. So, I've done the community, finally got my correct Google Plus to sign up to things. It's a nightmare, Google Plus. So, I did quite a few things in the live stream. I did some Thaumcraft research. I didn't die, even though Frosty and James and Joseph was trying to make me die. But I managed to avoid it. So, I've done a bit of Thaumcraft research. I'm actually stuck in a bit of research at the minute. Now, if you've never seen no research, basically what you have to do, it's a bit of a spoiler here, so look away now and all that if you don't want to see how this works. Basically what you've got to do is we've got to connect these dots. And you can move these things around, like so. And I've done a little bit of research. I've got a couple of things done, which lets me do things slightly different. So what I've got researched is I've got, let me suppress that. I've got this thing done, research expertise and research mastery. So I can move things further. I'm trying to get this thing done, this deconstruction table. And what that does is, with the research mastery, I can move things further. I can move things up to 5 blocks away, like so. I'm actually trying to use that to block. Now this, it takes 3 things, this one. It takes Cognito, which is a little brain one. It takes Pedito, which is that one there, entropy. And it takes Fabrico, which is like a little hammer. Is it a hammer? Like a little hammer. Yeah, it's a hammer. And at the minute, we've got 2 of them activated, and the third one's not. This is the third one. These things here, and this should be connecting, but for some reason it don't want to connect, and there's something that I'm not understanding, I think. But really, that should be a valid path. So that's the Pedito. So I'm not sure if the Pedito is blocking things from working. So I maybe have to work. I maybe have to. Oh, no, that makes no sense. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to move the Pedito out of the way, and that's the problem when you're moving them. With this master, you can move when they're lit up, and when they're lit up, they've got a chance of unlighting. So that Pedito is unlit now. This is the Fabrico that I need to make more of. Now the way these are generated, you can get so many by looking at things, but once you've looked at them, you're kind of stuck on where you're getting them from. But they do slowly regenerate. So if I was to use, say, look, Terra and Earth, if I was to use them 2 together, I can link them 2 together to make this Victus, and the Terra and Earth have both gone now. I ain't got any left. We'll give it a few minutes, they'll regenerate. So there'll only be 1 of each, but they'll regenerate again. So then I'll be able to use them to create some more Victus. So look, there's a Terra back. So I want to use Victus and Perdito, which will get me some Mortis. And then I'm going to have to wait for the Terra, the Earth. No, the Terra's back. What was the blue one again? Aqua, not Earth. Terra and Aqua. So once the Aquas come back, I can get some more Victus again. So we'll wait a little bit for that. Each time you move one of these things, it uses a little bit of ink out your scribing tools there. But you can just refill them by placing them with a ink sac. There we go, got the Aqua back. So now I can do Terra and Aqua again. I can get another Victus. And now I can combine the Victus and the Mortis. And that's going to get me an Animus, no, Spiritus I mean. And then if I combine that with Terra, when we get Terra again, that'll get me a Cognito. We've already got a Cognito here. But what I'm after working towards is a Fabrico. And we need that Fabrico to... we need Cognito to make Fabrico. Now, there is a really nice website with all the pictures of how you can combine all these things. That's really useful. So combine Spiritus and Terra, gets us Cognito. So Cognito is already in there. I believe this is Cognito. Linking them two. So if I was to put that in again, that'd actually take that out. What I do need, I could put Perdito in there, but I think that's kind of blocking it. Yeah, what I need is the Fabrico, which is this one. So I'm going to try and bridge the gap using this Fabrico, and it can kind of jump one gap. So I think I need to use this one to block. So if I put that one there, that should connect to there, and then this might make the Cognito go away again because I need to move this one as well, and then that should connect to there really. Hopefully. It's all very tricky, but I'm going to leave that for now. I'll do that a bit more in depth later on. The other thing that I've noticed is, well, I got told, I found a couple of nodes out in the world, and you can suck things into your wand by right clicking on a node. I'll go quickly show you one node. I don't want to dwell too much on this because it's all covered in the live stream videos that'll be coming up. So actually, once again, we're doing something a bit more proper in this. I still haven't built a roof, which is very lazy of me. So there is a node over here. If I turn my map on, if I switch group to Overworld Aura, ooh, hello. If I switch group to Overworld Aura, then there's a couple of waypoints here I've made of aura nodes. And something I didn't know, if you look at the top left when I've got my wand in my hand, all my bars are full. Now, a lot of that comes from when you kill mobs, they drop these little balls that your wand can suck up if your wand's got space for them. So there is a node here somewhere. You can't see it. Oh, I can't see it, that was terrible. Look, it is there, look. So that's a 62 of Ordo and Terra there. So if I use my stuff out my wand, I can right click that and it'd suck things in. Anyway. So that's all I'm going to do with Thaumcraft, just for this episode. I'm going to do a bit more of that later on. Most of the research I'll be doing off camera anyway. It's weird, isn't it? Blue leaves. Stuck behind trees. Let me down. Whee! And I've done a little bit more. Shouldn't have done that. That was silly of me. I've done a little bit more Ars Magica as well. I made another couple of spells. I've made this one called Exus, which is jump. What that does, it gives me a nice little jump buff. So if I click that, so I get a 4-second leap buff and I can jump really high. So that's kind of useful for getting up stuff until I've got. Whee! There we go. So a nice little jump buff. And another one I was going to make. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be any good or not, but another one I'm going to make is physical damage, magic damage, frost damage, and fire damage. So 4 damages together. So I'm going to make that at some point. Now, I had to get some more of the essence under there to make the jump spell. So be aware that you have to do stuff like that. That's from Darkcraft, I want to be in there. And then we've got to another magic mod. All this magic stuff is going to be up in the tree once I build a castle kind of thing for it. So this other magic mod, this is made by Way Time, and it's really cool. This is the guys were trying to get me to kill myself with this, the bastards. And this uses sacrificial knife. And what you can do with this is the sacrificial knife in your hand. You can right click it, and you take some damage. See, it's taking damage, and it's putting blood into that altar. Then we can use that blood to make things. So all I've made with this up to now, I made a couple of things. Did not want to do that. I made this guy a weak blood orb, and this guy divination sigil. Now the weak blood orb, because I've updated, let's turn that off. That'll do. Done. But that shouldn't have sorted that out, but it has. So if I press R on that, no, it doesn't show me. Okay, let's have a quick look this way then. See, I've got blue chalk. I had to make another blue chalk because when I refilled the bucket under there, I actually broke the pattern. I had to remake it. So, blood. The blood magic. There's our blood altar that I made, and there's my sacrificial knife that I made. And we made this thing, weak blood orb. And there's no recipe. Of course, you throw a diamond in there, and you put enough blood in, and it fills it up. And it's the divination sigil. It made you that. It doesn't consume that. You need one of these blank slates that you make by throwing stone into there, and or something like that. And then if I click this divination sigil, tells me that I've got 5,000 life points stored in this weak blood orb, and I can use that for various things. So I'm going to get more into that a bit later on as well. And the other thing I did was, I've had a little look at a video of that, and I'm starting to know a little bit more. Now, another thing I did, I got a couple of necrotic bones when I was in the nether. And a bit of an issue here, I've been meaning to tell the guys, if you smelt aluminium in the smeltery, you get E-masher. Click on that fool. You get E-masher aluminium ingots, and they unfortunately don't turn into these canisters. So I made this thing, the unifier from MFR, and I cheated in one aluminium ingot and tried to unify this aluminium into that, and unfortunately that don't work either. So what I did, I had 63 I think in total of the E-masher aluminium. So I cheated in the same amount of Tinker's Construct aluminium, and I binned the E-masher stuff, so I've got the right kind of stuff now. So that lets me make these things. So 4 ingots in a square gets you these empty canisters, miniature red hearts, necrotic bones from wither skeletons, and then jeweled apples are just 4 diamonds on an apple. Lets me make these things. So I've got a couple of heart canisters, which is awesome. They go just there, and now instead of having 10 hearts, I'm going to have 12, but of course I've got no regen. Interesting. Well, that's weird. I've got no regen, well that's regening up. Even though I ain't full. Oops. So I've got 2 extra hearts, so I can heal myself up to 12 hearts now, which is kind of useful. And the other thing we got was I made some adamantine. Now to mine adamantine I had to make a manilian pick, so I've got a manilian pick somewhere. Which one is it? It's that one. Called it Silky Tits because I give it Silk Touch. So I've got a Silk Touch pick. Need to add loads of lapis and redstone to these guys. And then with that, the manilian pick allowed me to mine adamantine, which we combined with the Atlarus that I had. So there's some adamantine there. We combine that with Atlarus, and that let me make this guy, which is a Tinker's Construct pick. It's got an adamantine pick head. It's got a thalmic rod, because Thalmcraft stuff works now, and it's got a paper binding. So what that gives us is mining speed 14, mining level 7, so that's the highest level there is, as far as I know. I've already put moss on it. I've got 5 more modifiers to put on there. So obviously Fortune's going to be one of them, lapis, and then all the rest is going to be speed. So I think it gets very high speed. If you think Cobalt starts at 10, this is already at 14 without anything else on it. So that's very good. What we can do, I can go down and mine that little bit of Atlarus, which is down there. And I'll be back when I've done that. See you in a sec. So there we go then, nice and easy. I've got a bit of Atlarus, I'm going to call it Atlarus, and Atlarus and Adamantine, they go into the smeltery at an even level, and they give you this stuff, Tartarite. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a set of armour out of this Tartarite, which is the toughest stuff in the game, from Metallurgy. This is the top end Metallurgy armour. Now, if this makes me too invulnerable, I might not wear it. I don't want to be omnipotent, but we'll see how it goes. I suppose it's good as armour as any to wear. Kind of looks awesome as well. So there we go, we've got a full set of that stuff, and because you see I'm at 33 levels, I'm going to start enchanting that and see what I get. So I'm going to start with a chest, and hopefully that's kind of awesome, isn't it? So Unbreaking 3, Magic Resistance 4, Protection 4. So that is an awesome chest piece. So let's get them on. And there we go, I look kind of funky. So I should be, so I've got full armour. So if this is too powerful, I will wear weaker armour. I want it to be able to take some damage. I don't want to be unable to die, you know. Like modular power suits and stuff, it can be too powerful. This thing, I pulled it out of a chest, Ender Lily Seed, it actually grew, and I clicked it, and it destroyed it, it gave me an Ender Pearl, and the thing popped on the floor, so I planted it again. That's good to know. Right, what I want to do with this episode is, in just a second, let me make an armour stand first. How do I make them again? Probably spelled American. Yep. Armour stand, stone slabs, of course it is. So let's get a bit of smooth stone from down here, make a few stone slabs. I'm also going to make a new sword at some point as well, a new rapier with this stuff, but I've got so much lapis to get, there's no real rush for that. So 3 of them, get out of the way you lot. I'll make a couple of armour stands just to be going on with, and because I've got loads of room, I can go there, and we can just put that steel armour up there for now. There we go. Right, so what I want to get on with is, now I went into the Nether as well in the live stream. Put that in there, that in there, that in there. Everything else can stay on me for now. I went into the Nether and I tried killing some blazes and some wither skeletons, and we didn't get any soul shards, unfortunately. What I have got though, these are from an earlier version of the mod pack where there was a stacking issue. Now I had 2 stacks of 3, and it wouldn't give you a wither or a blaze. So I think you need more than 3, but I think they have to be stacked together, so that didn't work properly. What it did give me was, I've got 2 magma cubes ones I don't really want, I don't really know what to do with, but it looks like magma cubes take 2 each, so it took 2 off one stack and then 2 off the other, because when I was fighting some blazes there was magma cubes in amongst them. I didn't even see the magma cubes, but I ended up with 2 of them. So I need to go and find some more spawners to kill at some point, so I'm going to go find another hollow hill, not to man out, but just to get loads of spawners, just to get as many spawners as I can out of it. See which ones are stacked with. What I want to do this episode, I don't want to use this one, this Enderman one. Now, this only took one, which is kind of surprising. Kind of wasn't expecting that, but that's soul shard. So we need to make this guy, soul cage, obsidian, iron, and a soul essence. Now, first of all, I want to see which one of these doesn't stack. So I'm going to cut the camera again. I'm going to go find another hollow hill in the Twilight Forest. Let's jump into the Twilight Forest. Stage 2, that's Twilight Forest. So this is the hill that I've manned out, of course. So if I go, it's like southeast, I'll go to that hill southeast, I'll get a couple of soul essences from in there, see which one to stack with. Then I'll make a soul cage, I'll make a place, and I'm going to make a MFR grinder and start collecting some mob essence. So I will see you all in a little while. Okay then, I'm back in the overworld, and unfortunately it's raining. I apologise for the sound. It's raining and it's daytime, so I can't really do much about that at the minute. I got 5 more soul shards from that dungeon, so there was 5 spawns in there, and they're stacked onto that one there, so this is the one that won't stack, so I can keep that to a side. And with a bit of obsidian, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a bit of iron, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can make my first soul cage. Now, soul cage can be turned off with a lever, so I should probably have one of them. I made some of these things as well. I saw them on Bevo's Fantasy Let's Play, and look at them little path blocks. How awesome are they? Sweet. Love little bits, stuff like that. That's from a mod called Open Blocks. Really cool. I'm not really sure what Open Blocks adds. It's a tangent here. Open Blocks. Oh. One word. So it adds crazy glasses, a backpack, crane control. Ooh, crane backpack. Interesting. Crane magnet. Is that like a extra limb? Magic crayons. Healer. What's that about? Jaded ladder. Loads of stuff I don't understand. I think that's to do with open peripherals, isn't it? That you can. I wonder if that's what they're for. Stuff I don't really understand much of. Luggage. Looks like it's got legs. Sonic glasses. Wonderful stuff. Anyway, let's go back to soul shards though. So I've got my soul cage. I've got my soul shard. I'm going to make a lever so I can turn this off, because I don't want to be in too much trouble straight away. But that was a little tangent I went on it. Sorry about that. Let's make a lever. Now, what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to make it in the Twilight Forest. No, I'm not. I'm going to make it in the Mistcraft Age, Mushroom Age. So the reason for this is the way mob spawners work, as long as I understand it, is if I'm in range in the overworld, it'll work. But if I go out of range, it'll stop. And I'm planning to move to that tree pretty soon. So just for now, I'm going to bang it in here. First of all, let's see if it works in here, because I know mobs don't spawn generally in Mushroom. There's another issue. Some blocks have been removed, as you can see, with the well gen. That was a nice little smooth pull there. I said thermal expansion today, because that's the only thing I've seen Resonant Ender from. But this has got Resonant Ender, but no thermal expansion, because thermal expansion isn't for 1.6 yet. So anyway, let's place that down. So first of all, let's put a lever on it, and then let's put our Enderman soul shard in it. And nothing should spawn until I go like that, and then we get an Enderman. Wonderful. Come on, come back to me. Where are you? That's some little things from Thaumcraft that I mentioned. I thought that red one might have been fire, but it's not. So there we go. We've got a little thing we can turn on and off. And my plan for this, of course, is to have this turned on all the time. Have an MF5 grinder, killing the mobs that come out of it. So it's pretty slow, but it's going to be a passive thing. So there's no more like the previous soul shards where you could collect. I'm not dropping a. That's interesting. I wonder if that's on purpose. These are dropping in ender pearls. I've got looting on my sword, so 2 endermen. You think I should have got an ender pearl? Let's have a couple more and see. This armour, by the way, is extremely powerful. Well, there we go. Ender pearl. So ignore my little query there regarding loot drops. So this needs to be a passive thing left on all the time, and over time it'll collect us a lot of stuff, but it won't be knowing. Right, so what I need to do is build a little base for this. I'm going to build a little power source. Now MFR stuff will run off mechanism power, which is pretty cool. This might take me about an hour or so to do. I'm going to put all this together. I'm going to build a little dimensional anchor for in here as well, to load that up, to keep it loaded I mean. And I should be back in a little while, and we should have a little passive mob farm here. Before I do that though, let's go into the nether and see if 6 of these soul shards is enough for a wither skeleton or a blaze. Now, ideally I'd like it to be a wither skeleton. I've got my sword. Where is my... there it is. My shadow blade. So I'm going to make sure I only use that on wither skeletons really. So hopefully we may find a wither skeleton around here somewhere. I'll have a little rummage around, see if I can find one. And we've got 6 soul essences there, so hopefully that will be enough to bag us a wither skeleton. If not, I may go and find some more soul essences and see exactly how many it takes, because I would really like a wither skeleton spawner. It's an extremely useful thing to have. Right, this might take a bit of time till I find one. I'll cut the camera a sec, I'll be back when I find one. Okay, that took some doing. I finally found a wither skeleton. I've also found an indoor blaze spawner, which is nice. So I can make that into a little blaze room. Get a book right out here, just come and get blaze rods when I need them, if I don't have a shard. But that means I can destroy that other blaze spawner over there as well in a minute. But I've just seen this guy, so I'm going to switch to my shadow blade. Kill these guys first, just so they don't follow me. Looting sword makes this wonderful, of course. So I'm going to switch to my shadow blade. Kill this guy. And hopefully... cool, wither skeleton. And that took 5. So it's 5 soul shards for a wither skeleton. Awesome. So I've got one of them as well now, which is very nice. So let's go. I'm going to go back this way. I'm going to kill that other... well, no, I'm fairly confident that it takes more than 2 for a blaze spawner. So there's no point in me coming back for that blaze spawner at the minute. What I am going to do... I could do with some... I could do with some skills. What I could do with... get off me, burning. Well, these are giving me Ignis. Thought some of them might do, but no such luck. Well, that's that guy dead anyway. The other spawner's over there. I'll go pick up that spawner. Right, so I'm going to go into that Mistcraft age. I'm going to build a couple of 8x8 structures. I'm going to build a little power source with some lava and one of the heat generators. And I'll be back when that's done. And we should have a little automated ender farm and wither skeleton farm. Back in a bit. Well, a couple of hours from my point of view. Straight away for yours. Hello then, I'm back then, and I've got a bit of an issue that the video's up to like nearly 30 minutes. I've made a little thing up there, I'm going to show you in just a minute. I'm just making a couple of other things here. I thought I had 2 ender pearls, I noticed I had 8 in there as well. So I just made a couple of things. One thing I've made is I wanted a sheep to shear, so I made a golden lasso. Really useful little item. It just lasso. It's just an ender pearl, some string, golden nugget, and you can move sheep around, which is really, really useful to be able to do. I've got any fence? No, I've got any fence. Let's make some more fence and make a little place for the sheep. Because I needed a bit of wool, I didn't have any. And I'm just making a quick ender chest. Easy enough. And an ender pouch to go with it, which I've got there. And then I can, all the stuff I'm carrying here, of course at the minute, if I die, I'll lose all this. Whereas, in just a second, this space is so small. If I get that, and then shift right click with the ender pouch, so it's already lightweight anyway. So then I can actually, wonderful, I can actually put backpacks in there as well if I want to. So I can store all that in there and that's safe now, so I don't, if I die I won't lose anything. Good to have. What else has been going on? Now I was going to start building down here. I've actually been watching some of Kieran Dave's Let's Play, and I've just learnt a lot more about how this Blood Altar works. So I will be covering this a little more. I kind of briefly went over it at the start. I want to cover it a bit more in a later episode. And it's very, very powerful. I'm looking forward to leveling it up a bit. At the minute, I've only got the basic blood amulet thing. Let's see. Let's in fact take all these out. You may notice when I left that Mistcraft age, I actually still had the Enderman shard in my hand. I'm not sure what was going on there. I went back and broke the spawner there, and breaking the spawner crashed me. And when I logged back in, the spawner was not there. So I actually lost that spawner that was there. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. It's maybe a little bit buggy. Weak blood orb is the one that I've got. Of course it is. I said amulet, didn't I? I meant orb. And I can actually use this stuff to power stuff. I don't want to get too caught up with that though. Let's. Don't want a bit of cobble in there. Come on, cobble. I might as well leave that in there for now. Yeah, I can use my blood to power all kind of things, including furnaces and stuff. So we'll be looking into that. I was going to start putting the spawners down here, and then because it crashed, I thought maybe a Mistcraft issue. So I thought I won't make it in the Mistcraft edge. I'll make it here. I was starting to dig out down there. I was running out of space, and I thought, screw it, I'll make it up on the surface. Because as I said, I want to make things on the surface. So I made a little couple of cells here, look like a prisoner of war camp. A couple of cells that were with chiselled stone bricks. So I've got an iron door, and I made some blackout curtains for extra utilities, and I've got my. It's very dark in here. It's all blacked out. I've got my soul shard in here. Now this one, I broke and replaced. When I broke it, it got the purple thing in it. So I'm not sure what's going on there. These work, as far as I know, the same as a vanilla spawner. And a vanilla spawner works on an 8x8 basis. Let me just sleep because I'm going to get overrun here. Vanilla spawner works on an 8x8 basis. With the corner of the spawner being the northwest corner of spawner being the very centre of the 8x8. So if we look in here again, this north wall, this is the west wall, this north wall, so if we're facing north there, so the north wall and the west wall are actually double thickness. Cheeky, set me on fire. You can see, when I was in the nether I got another necrotic bone, so I've got 3 of these hearts now as well. And this armour maybe is too powerful. I think I'm going to put it on an armour stand and wear something a little less powerful. So, this northwest corner, this conjunction of 4 blocks, is the very centre of your spawn area. So 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks that way is the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've doubled the walls up there. Doubled the walls up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what that gives us is a 5x5 spawn area, which is what the MFR grinder works on. MFR grinder works on a 5x5. So a combination of the vanilla spawn mechanics and the grinder mechanics makes it so that we should catch everything that spawns out of this. Should, not 100%. Now, I thought I was going to power this up, and I thought about using mechanism power, which I've done a little bit, but then I thought actually I want to use Ender IO, because I hadn't used that before. It's another new mod that I hadn't used, and I've had a quick look at Ender IO, and as far as I can tell, it doesn't let you use, it's all about MJs, it's a Buildcraft add-on, so it's not, you can't use the, what's it called? Calclavia's pack of mods. Universal electricity. It doesn't use the universal electricity power. So I want to power this with Ender IO. So I want to set up an Ender IO system, which means I need Buildcraft MJs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up this episode here without powering these guys up. I am going to work on my farms. I am going to set up a little collection. I'm going to set up a little ME network. I'm going to set a little basic ME network. Start powering some collection from these guys, and then I'm going to try and do it off power because everyone's seen people do basic ME for collecting stuff. I think if I've got enough power for it and enough quartz. After that, I'm going to start using Ender IO to deal with all this. So basically, what I want is I want power going in. I want stuff. I want power coming in. I want essence coming out through the Ender IO conduits, and then I'll work out how to move the items. Items are probably going to be applied logistics. Saying that, I could also use the extra cells from applied logistics and move the liquid out as well. So anyway, I've got a few things to work out, but I want to get this episode out today, so I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to wrap this one up now, and I'm going to carry on working, and I'm going to try and get another episode done today as well, once I've worked a few things out in a couple of hours time. So I hope this episode wasn't too all over the place. I've not really covered in detail anything. I've skimmed over this stuff that we did in the live stream, but not really covered it in any kind of detail. So it might be a bit of a shit episode, but I hope it's tolerable, and I hope you join me next time. Cheers, bye.